Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what about your beauty hypnotizes others. Okay, please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. I'm now going to show you crystals. So for pile number 1, we have Apatite. And we have the card Summoning Power with Instinct, Intellect, and Control. For pile number 2, we have Citrine. And we have the card Tenderness with True Love and Compassion. For pile 3, we have Green Aventurine. And we have the card Telepathy with Transmission, Perception, and Communication. I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to, the one that is calling out to your soul the most. But of course, if you're drawn to more than one pile, you're more than welcome to pick more than one if your intuition is telling you that. So once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I will see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number ones. If you chose this Apatite crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what about your beauty hypnotizes people, okay? Please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching, especially if I talk about physical traits or features I see. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Okay, you chose the card Summoning Power with Instinct, Intellect, and Control. So what I do feel from your pile straight off the bat, or right off the bat, she is wearing a white dress here. This is my pure soul pile, or some of my pure souls may be in this pile. And if you consider yourself a pure soul, I just see you with a lot of light. Like pure sweet souls where, you wouldn't hurt anyone. You really give off this bright white light, this angelic kind of beauty that hypnotizes people. I don't know if you've ever, watched a movie and someone is standing above a person and they have like this light around them and they almost look like an angel. And then they're like, am I in heaven? So this is how your beauty hypnotizes people, first off. This angelic kind of beauty you have that it's like there's just light around you, and that's how people get hypnotized by your beauty, because it's like they're just looking at you and they're like, am I in heaven? So that's the first thing I see here. And as I'm looking at the wolves and the full moon here, I don't know why it's reminding me of the She-Wolf music video from Shakira. So some of you could have a beauty like that music video that hypnotizes people in. And, in that music video, she talks about how this wolf inside of her is about to come out. You know what I mean? I just want to look at the lyrics and feel the energy. And she basically wears such sexy clothing there. Such sexy clothing there. So, you could have this seductive look to you, even if you don't think so yourself. People could find you quite seductive. I mean, when I looked at that music video, I just found it so. She looked so beautiful there, but she also looked really seductive and sexy. And like, very much like this kind of powerful woman vibe. Yeah, so she says there's a she-wolf coming out in her, and how she's been devoting herself to a person, but that person wasn't appreciating her. And that she-wolf inside of her, I take it as that power inside of her that is ready to come out, that powerful side of her that doesn't take any nonsense from anyone. And it's like, I see this as her finding her power. You know, when I read the lyrics now and I'm, looking at this card, summoning power, I see it as, maybe people in the past that didn't appreciate you and everything you did because you had such a big heart. It's like they sometimes took you for granted, and that there is that she-wolf inside of you, that powerful side inside of you that is like, no, you're not going to treat me like this. Like, no, you're not going to do any of this to me. You're not going to treat me like I'm an option, like it can be thrown away or anything like that. And this she-wolf inside of her is being set free. um and I see this as this powerful side within her that is waiting to come out, that is begging to come out. So you may have that side inside you, and it's like begging to come out, if that makes sense. That powerful side in you that is begging to come out. So let it out in some way. And as you let that out, or if you have let that side out in you before, that is very hypnotizing, because it's like, when you carry yourself with that powerful type of energy and you know your worth, then it hypnotizes people even more. And the wolf spirit animal, when you think of the wolf spirit animal, it moves in this sort of hierarchy. Um, they are considered very loyal animals because um, they take care of their surrounding wolves around them, especially their pups and their little babies. They take care of it and they're very loyal that way. And they're always together as a pack, loyal. So you have that very loyal, loving energy, but then you also have this powerful side to you as well. Because the wolf, like I said, it operates at a certain hierarchy where there is an alpha wolf, there is the wolf that is on top, if that makes sense. And I feel like you have that vibe of being someone that stands out, of being someone that is put on a pedestal by others, of being someone that is almost like giving off this leadership energy. You could be someone with your beauty that hypnotizes people, where you wear something or you do something and other people start to copy it and it becomes some kind of trend. You know what I mean? And with the lunar energy here, you're very connected to your feminine power. Um, Regardless of gender, feminine power, intuition, your emotions, and also your intuition. And you may intuitively wear certain things or express yourself in a very powerful way, that you are kind of like this leader energy where you set trends and people follow you, and that they want to copy you and then they want to do this. And that is how your beauty hypnotizes people. Because it's like, let's say you wear, Spirit is showing me the Regina George scene from Mean Girls where she wears that top and they cut little holes out of the bra, or the top or something, and then she wore it around and everyone started wearing that. You know what I mean? And I think you have that type of powerful vibe to you where people just like to copy you or mimic your style because of this powerful essence you have. I'm watching the video on mute and she just looks really powerful. So let me add more cards for you. Even if you don't see this yourself, maybe this is what others see in you, and this is how others are hypnotized by your beauty, my pile number ones. So let's get some more cards. So spirit guides of my pile number ones. What about my pile number one's beauty hypnotizes others? What about my pile number one's beauty? We have celestial alignment. What was I talking about with that heavenly beauty? Like, she's literally standing on the clouds. and her heart is shining out. You have a very beautiful heart, my pile number ones, and your heart just shines out in a very beautiful way that it makes people notice you. Um, just like how when we are operating on a hard space, it makes people actually notice our vibe and our aura more because our aura just stands out more when we're operating in the space of love. We are then more high vibrational. So, because of your high vibrational energy, because of your energy that is so connected to your heart space, you live in your heart space, you follow your heart through everything you do. It makes you more noticeable by others and it just makes you stand out. And it's like, you know how we see her being all colorful and there's a rainbow behind her. I feel like you have that vibe where maybe you are a very colorful person. You're not afraid to express yourself with the certain types of clothes you wear, with maybe you wear makeup, maybe you do your hair in different styles or different aesthetics, and it's like you're not afraid to express that powerful side of you, okay, and stand out. With the plant here, I see this as like your beauty is ever growing, and even the way her hip is like out here, and she looks very confident in herself here. Like you have this confidence that you carry that hypnotizes others with your beauty, where they just want to stare at you because of all these things I mentioned, but also your heart space shining out. Okay, some of you could have really gorgeous smiles that light up the room, regardless of your gender. It's like your smile lights up the room, and that is how your beauty hypnotizes others. And with the plants here, your beauty is ever growing, my pal number ones. That is something I see here. We see the number 4 showing up twice with 41 and 4. So the number 4 relates to stability, security, but also the 4th house energy, which is Cancer energy. And I see this as your beauty is very stable and always hypnotizing people in a stable way, if that makes sense. And like it will happen continuously over your life. And with the plants here, your beauty is ever growing and it's always hypnotizing people in new ways. This is what I see here. Some of you have an amazing sense of fashion style. I'm seeing some of you like to dress up really cute and you look very heavenly while you do it, whereas some of you, it's more casual, but you still look very gorgeous or very handsome. Like I'm seeing some of you like the Y2K style and you look so cute while you do it. Whereas some of you, I see some of you like to wear jeans and people like the way jeans look on you. Like maybe your body looks really good. And I'm seeing some of you like to wear dresses, whereas some of you just like to wear very colorful clothes and express yourself. Spirit is showing me like a peacock, you just stand out in some way. You know, when the peacock ruffles its feathers, it is so hypnotizing, and you could have that same type of vibe that you give off to others, okay? And I'm seeing some of you are just comfortable with expressing yourself in unique styles. I'm seeing some of you like, Hello Kitty type of style, very cute. And let me just see if I can see anything else. But I think people really get hypnotized by your fashion style, this kind of trendsetter vibe you put off where they want to copy you. I'm seeing an example of like, those makeup trends, when someone makes a makeup trend on Instagram and then everyone wants to do that makeup trend. I feel like you have that sort of type of vibe or aura where people just want to copy you, but it's not them copying your style, it's them trying to copy your vibe that you give off. So what about my pile number one's beauty hypnotizes people? We have feeling safe. And we have another 4 here. Okay, so that is quite interesting. Before I tell you what I see here, I do have a small favor to ask from you, my pile number ones. If you like this reading up until now and you haven't already, can you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? The last 3 months, 75% of people who watch my channel didn't subscribe. So it helps my channel more than you know. And the bigger the channel gets, the more content I can put out and create for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love, all your support. And I'm sending you so much love and gratitude from my heart. So it's interesting that we see 444 showing up here with two different oracle decks. I think that is a definite sign here. You are very protected, my pal number one. So since you have, maybe people copying you, since you're someone that really stands out, you may have had certain people project their own insecurities onto you and make you feel shameful about yourself. It's almost like this type of feeling of you stand out so much that I want to humble you. I want to make you feel like, not me, but like I'm tapping into the energy of people that are kind of jealous of you. It's like, oh, this person looks so confident in themselves. They look happy. I'm going to try and humble them and show them. It's like that type of weird energy. And it's like, really, really, you should be inspired by that person being confident in themselves, not try to tear them down. And it's really, really sad that some people would try to, copy you, mimic you, but then put you down and try to make you feel insecure within yourself. So I'm feeling like things people have said to you, I want you to throw that out of the window. With all the flowers here, I know it's easier said than done because I've been through it too, but with all the flowers here, I see this as like your mind is a garden, my pile number ones, and some people can plant seeds of doubt within your mind, and you can see that as a weed showing up within your mind, of an insecurity that is not even yours to begin with. So, for example, I had a certain someone always say to me that I'm fat. But when I looked at her, it was my stepmother, but this is not about me. I'm just using this as an example to show you. Okay, so when I looked at her, I saw that she was dealing with her own body issues and she was feeling very insecure within herself. So she was projecting her own insecurity onto me. Do you get what I mean? And now to this day, I am trying to be healthy, trying to look after myself, not care too much about my body weight. Not care too much about my body looks, but just take care of it and be healthy. You know what I mean? Whereas if I had let that person plant those weeds into my mind, maybe I wouldn't have even been confident enough to wear makeup and show myself or wear certain things anymore. And you'd get certain people that would project their insecurities onto you, but then you'd get other people that would compliment that same exact thing that that person would criticize. You know what I mean? Like, let's say, for example, you have, beautiful curly hair, and someone criticized your beautiful curly hair, but other people really love your beautiful curly hair. Or let's say, you have a curvy body, and someone criticized that because they were feeling insecure about their own weight. And it's like, maybe people really love your body. Whereas maybe you have, I'm hearing like your skin tone. Maybe someone criticized your skin tone, but it's like maybe other people really love your skin tone and think it like makes you shine in a beautiful way. Maybe someone criticized your fashion style, your ability to express yourself because they inside never felt like they could express themselves authentically. Now they're trying to put you down, whereas other people look at you and they're inspired by that same exact thing. So don't allow others to plant weeds inside your mind, plant doubt inside your mind. Take those weeds out and plant new flowers of self-love within your mind. And as you plant those self-love flowers, you're going to hypnotize people even more, and you're going to notice things you have felt insecure about, things you have felt like you couldn't show to the world, are the exact things people will compliment and people will want to copy. It's just like, how At one point, people were like criticizing people that had freckles, and now people want to put on makeup and make it look like they have freckles. That's just an example of the energy I'm seeing. But I feel like you have always been a very beautiful person in terms of your Akashic records here with the book here. I feel like you've always been a really beautiful person, and throughout all your lifetimes, you have this very Venusian energy to you, regardless of your body, regardless of the character you are wearing. Just think of it like you are a character in Sims in each lifetime, and each lifetime you have a different body. You know what I mean? But in each lifetime, you have that same vira. In each lifetime, you have that same vibe or aura where it makes you shine and it makes you stand out regardless of what you look like. And I feel like people try to copy or mimic that vibe you give off as well. And I'm seeing here, like, I'm really noticing her braids. Her braids look really beautiful. Some of you wear braids and people find it really beautiful and hypnotizing. Or some people look at your hair, regardless of what your hair looks like, and they find it really gorgeous. And there's even aloe vera here in the background and lavender. I think that's lavender if I'm not mistaken. Um, to me, lavender reminds me of a really gorgeous smell. So some of you could smell really good, and it's like people really get hypnotized by your smell. You know, when you smell something really good, and you just like are in another world. I feel like that's what your beauty does to people in terms of how you smell. And I'm really looking at their lips here. Like some people find your lips really gorgeous and alluring or really good looking. And I feel with the aloe vera, that's like the soothing coming in from your spirit guides that whatever people have told you is not true. Throw that out of the window. That doesn't belong in your mind. You know what I mean? So, spirit guides of pile one. What about their beauty hypnotizes people? What about pile one's beauty hypnotizes people? We have the bard with music, poetry, myth, history, and the enchantment of storytelling. Are some of you creative in some way? You know, your creativity could hypnotize people in some type of way. If you make music, you know, this type of feeling of I'm listening to this and I'm being hypnotized by it and I'm in a whole nother world with your song or with your art or with your fashion, the way you express yourself with fashion. Or let's say, you know, you are walking into a room and you are so gorgeous that it feels like music is playing in the background. It feels like time is slowing down. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do I put this in words? You know, when you watch TV, a movie, and someone comes on screen and they're just so gorgeous or so handsome, and then music is playing in the background and time is just slowing down? I feel like you have that effect on people, and that is how you hypnotize people with your beauty, my pal number ones. Whereas others of you are just creative, and your creativity in some way hypnotizes people because it has this very Venusian feel to it, this very beautiful feel to it. Okay, I feel like you just have this very alluring vibe, my pal number ones, that you give off through everything you do. And then we have the swan here with transformation and trusting the psychic gifts. So yeah, like I said earlier, your beauty is always transforming. Your beauty is ever growing, my pal number ones. And it's always hypnotizing people in new ways. It's just on the way you perceive it. And I feel like you living in your truth, you living in this authentic version of yourself is actually so powerful, and you don't even know how many people have crushes on you, how many people are inspired by you, how many people stop and stare at you and they're like, oh my gosh, I love that person's style, I want to get, you know, that clothes that they're wearing, I want to find out where they got it from, or when you walk past someone and your hairstyle is done in a really creative way or gorgeous way, and they're like, I want to do my hair like that, I'm going to put that in my mind, and almost like a Pinterest mood board. You give me Pinterest mood board energy where people look at you and they find inspiration from your style and from your look and how you do things, because you're very creative when you do it. And the swan gives off such a beauty because, I mean, I don't know if you've ever watched Barbie, when she's like a swan, but she's also Barbie. I forgot what movie it was called, but she was so, so beautiful. And I feel like the swan just gives off this beauty, but it's like this pure soul type of vibe the swan gives off, but it's also this gentle, loving, romantic energy. So, a lot of people could have crushes on you because of your beauty. And the swan is so gentle and graceful. It reminds me of like ballet, when ballet dancers dance, and it's so gentle and beautiful. And I feel like that's the vibe you give off. You don't have to do ballet, but if you look at a ballet dancer and how gorgeous they look and how graceful they do things, I feel like you give off that vibe. That similar vibe when you do certain things, it's so graceful and it looks like there's something about you that almost looks heavenly, that almost looks like perfect, but not perfect, if that makes sense. Or at least maybe that's just how people view you, my palatable ones. But I also feel like your intuition tells you, what to wear and what to do and things like that. I'm now going to pull some tarot cards and see what else shows up for you, but I think this is going well so far. I really like your energy, my pile number ones. So, what about my pile number one's beauty hypnotizes others? Okay, my tarot deck is in reverse. We have the Ten of Cups, so definite romantic vibes. A lot of people may have crushes on you when they see you in some way. What about my pile number one's beauty hypnotizes others? And I'm noticing this rainbow here, this rainbow here. You could have a beauty like a rainbow that is so hypnotizing. I don't know if you've ever seen a rainbow and it's like, you just want to look at it because it's so magical and mesmerizing. You just want to stare at it all day. You want to take a picture of it. I feel like you have that type of rare beauty that is like rare to come across, and it is one in a million, one of a kind, and it's so vivid and it stands out and it's so magical in some type of way. Does that make sense? We have the King of Cups. We have the Page of Cups. You know what I'm seeing? The scene from, I can't remember what Ice Age movie it was, but it was with, there was that male Ice Age mammoth, and then there was the female Ice Age mammoth, and then she had like two little friends with her, but they were her brothers, but they were another animal. I can't remember if they were possums or like, I can't remember what they were, but there was one scene where they were under the cave and then they were sucking in the air, and then it almost sounded like, when you suck in like a balloon thing and it's like your voice goes squeaky or weird or whatever and it's funny, and then they were laughing. So Spirit just showed me that with the Page of Cups coming out, and we see a little child here. So I feel like some of you have this type of vibe that is very playful and fun. Even this King of Cups is very playful because he's showing his behind. It's not the usual King of Cups. So I see this as you have the kind of beauty that is playful. You could be on Instagram, make a silly face, and people could find it so cute. You could do something where it's really cute. You could make little silly faces or jokes, or you could just be very playful within your beauty, where you're not afraid to express yourself in a playful way, if that makes sense. And people find that very hypnotizing and cute, okay? There's like this cuteness overload type of vibe with you. Like you could do the smallest little things and it hypnotizes others with this kind of cuteness overload. I don't know if you've ever seen like your pet do something really cute and then you just want to squeeze them. I feel like you have that effect on people because you're so cute. And I feel like you do certain things that are so cute and people just find it so beautiful to look at. We have the King of Wands. Even here we have the lion, and the lion is the king of the jungle. And I felt this energy with the wolf here, where it's like you give off this type of beauty that is standing out. Even how I saw the peacock. The peacock represents royalty. You know, you could have queen or king vibes, my pal number ones, in terms of your beauty, and it could stand out in that type of way where people really look at you and they find it to be a beauty that stands out, if that makes sense. And you're very much put on a pedestal by others. I feel like you're also very creative. You're very passionate about life. You have this type of light-hearted energy to you that makes your look even more beautiful, if that makes sense. It makes your physical beauty even more beautiful because, you know, like when we're just light-hearted, it actually just makes our vibe even more open, if that makes sense. And that's something I see here. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So some of you could, you know, wear certain things and you look very expensive while you're wearing it, even though you're not trying to. You know, you could just wear jewelry and people will think it's expensive jewelry, but maybe it's not. Or, you know, you could wear just things you wear every day and people will think it's like designer clothes, or people will think you are a shopaholic and you have enough money to go shopping every day. You know what I mean? And it's not. Maybe it's just like clothes in your cupboard you wear and you rewear it, but certain people will think that, and that is how your beauty hypnotizes people. I feel like you have this shiny, shimmery type of vibe to you, like a diamond ring, and everyone wants this diamond ring, if that makes sense. That's what I see with the Queen of Pentacles energy. And I'm seeing the fruits here, so you could have a beauty that is very delicious and that hypnotizes people. Like, you know, when you eat something really delicious and you're just in that moment, you could have that type of beauty that is like pleasurable to look at, if that makes sense. And lastly, we have the Knight of Wands. So in this card, we see someone sewing and it's right opposite the bard. So some of you could be very creative, like I said earlier, and that is something I keep seeing here. So before we end off, I do want to close my eyes and see if anything else wants to come up from Spirit, from what about your beauty hypnotizes others, okay? At the back of the deck, we have the star. So you're someone that really shines and stands out. And when you walk into a room, it's kind of like all eyes are on you. You stand out and you shine. Spirit is showing me clairvoyantly the scene from, I can't remember which Cinderella it was, but Hilary Duff was in it, like a Cinderella movie or something. And, you know, she walked down the stairs for the prom thing, and everyone was staring at her. Everyone was looking at her. Everyone was just mesmerized and like in a trance about her beauty. And then even the women that were jealous of her were like looking at her and were like, love the dress, hate her. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the type of vibe you give off, where you just shine and you just stand out, and when you walk into a room, it's just like all eyes on you. That's how I feel your beauty hypnotizes others. Let me just close my eyes now. Yeah, Spirit is showing me a sewing machine. Some of you make your own clothes and people literally think that you buy it, and it's so gorgeous on you. And Spirit is showing me glasses. Some of you wear glasses and people find that really beautiful. Spirit is showing me the Aries sign, which is like that leadership energy, and like setting trends, trendsetter vibe. Spirit is also showing me jewelry and like a heart kind of jewelry. You know, you could wear certain types of jewelry that people really love to look at. You know, when you're wearing something and it's dangling around your neck and it's just like standing out, and then you know you want to keep staring at it. That's the type of vibe I feel when you wear certain jewelry, that it hypnotizes people in. And I'm seeing a clock, so people could just stare at you all day and they'd lose track of time. That's how your beauty hypnotizes others. And I'm seeing a book. Some of you are very intelligent, and that is really beautiful, and it hypnotizes others. And I'm seeing a phone, like take a picture. So some of you are very, very photogenic, and that hypnotizes others. And now I'm seeing the poisonous apple from Snow White. So you have such a beauty that makes people even jealous. I guess that is all I'm seeing for you, my pile number ones. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number twos. If you chose the citrine crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what about your beauty hypnotizes others, okay? Please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates and leave the rest. Especially when I talk about physical features. You know, I'm aware all of us look different. There's so much of us here. So many of us here. So just take it as it resonates. You chose the card Tenderness with true love and compassion. So from your energy so far, with all the yellow here in this card, I am feeling this vibe from you, that you give off this kind of star energy, like a star that shines bright in the sky, and everyone wants to look at you. And you know how a star shines in the sky and we love to just look at it and we get mesmerized by it. I feel like that's how your beauty hypnotizes others. A star just stands out and shines. Or you could give off the sunshine energy with all the yellow and be like a bright sun that everyone wants to look at. You could be considered a ray of sunshine, and you could just give off this very happy vibe, happy-go-lucky type of vibe. And people could really like your smile, could really like your energy. You could be seen as, like I said, a ray of sunshine. Yellow also relates to the solar plexus energy. The solar plexus energy is all about self-worth, confidence in self, our ability to shine out, our ability to access our creativity as well. So some of you could just shine out. You could look like you have a lot of confidence in yourself. You could look like you have this type of beauty that just shines out, as I said before, and just stands out. And you could look like you just really have a lot of self-confidence in yourself. And I'm noticing this giraffe here, and giraffes are really tall. Some of you are really tall, and people love how tall you are. Like, you know, people could even say you look like a model. Even if you're not tall, you could have this model type of vibe, because tallness reminds me of models. Um, Some of you could have really beautiful hair, because I'm noticing her hair here, and her eyelashes. Her eyelashes look so gorgeous here. And her side features look so gorgeous as well. Like, look at her nose and how cute it is, and how cute her side features are. Some of you could look good from the side, and like let's say you're doing something and just walking around or looking at what groceries to buy, you're just kind of focused in your own world and people are looking at you and you don't even notice them staring at you, and that is how your beauty hypnotizes others. And I'm also seeing you give off this very true love, tender kind of vibe, and you're someone that is really loving. And I feel this type of vibe, like you're very open to loving others, you're very open to sharing your love, and that makes your beauty just shine out even more. And that's something I see here. You know, you could also have a lot of people have crushes on you because of this tender, true love, compassionate type of vibe you give off. And that makes your beauty so hypnotizing because it's like, I just want to love you and just squeeze you, and you could have this cute type of vibe as well. That's something I see here. Let me add some more cards and see what else shows up. But I'm also noticing her nails here. Some of you could have really gorgeous nails that people love to look at. Before I tell you what I see here, I do have a small favor to ask from you, my pile number ones. If you like this reading up until now and you haven't already, can you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? The last 3 months, 75% of people who watch my channel didn't subscribe. So it helps my channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, the more content I can put out and create for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love, all your support, and I'm sending you so much love and gratitude from my heart. And I'm seeing a phone and Instagram. Some of you could be really photogenic. And there's something about people scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or social media and seeing your posts for some of you and being quite hypnotized and mesmerized by your beauty. Because it's like, I just want to stare at you all day. You're just so photogenic, that type of vibe. So maybe that's why I was picking up model features, because some of you are very photogenic, okay? So what about pile two's beauty hypnotizes people? What about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have speak up. What about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? And we have sacred lust. At the back of the deck, we have liberation. So you give me this very free-spirited type of energy, like I'm not afraid to share love with everyone. I'm not afraid to show my love. I'm not afraid to show my heart to the world, and that's what people find really hypnotizing about your beauty. But also this free-spirited vibe you give off. I feel like some of you have also been on your healing journey, and you've been healing a lot within yourself and liberating yourself of other people's opinions, liberating yourself of things that have hurt you in your life, liberating yourself of pains so that you can truly embody love and the heart space and experience so much love around you. And with the lion showing up here, the lion is noticed as the king of the jungle. So some of you could give off this type of beauty where it's like queen, king vibes, royalty vibes, or you could just really stand out. Some of you could embody Leo energy, even if you're not a Leo. Leos just stand out and they shine in their own unique and beautiful way. I feel like you have that type of vibe where you just stand out and people notice you, and that is what is hypnotizing about your beauty. You could also just have this very confident look to you. When you wear something, you're very authentic to yourself and you're very free with your self-expression, very free with your self-love, free with love in general. And it's like people really like that about you. You could also have this very seductive vibe to you where it's like people literally want to worship you and put you on a pedestal. And that's something I see here that people find so seductive about you. And that is what is hypnotizing about your beauty. Some of you could also have, gorgeous voices, and it's like when you speak, you are to be heard. When you speak, you are to be noticed. Some of you could be very charismatic, and that can add to this beauty you give off, where others listen to your voice and they want to listen to your voice all day. They want to listen to you speak all day. Some of you could be really intelligent as well, and that could hypnotize others because it's like when you speak, you not only have physical beauty and like the seductive vibe, but also this intelligence to you. And you give off this type of vibe like you're not gonna take any nonsense from people. You're going to speak up for yourself, you're going to stand up for yourself, and that gives off this vibe of self-confidence, self-worth. And with the water here, I'm feeling like a lot of people could have deep feelings for you, or even want to worship you, because this kind of food here, I don't know why it's reminding me of when I was younger. My stepmom is Buddhist, and we used to go to the temples, and like they would give offerings to the monks and like put it, like they'd give a bunch of food to the monks, and it kind of reminds me of that. I feel like you have this type of beauty, like I said, where people almost want to worship you, if that makes sense, and people want to spoil you, people want to give to you. Okay? And I'm also noticing this in the background. It kind of looks like sound bowls. I don't know. I don't know why it's reminding me of sound bowls, but you could have also give off this very healing energy, and you could be the type of person that stands up for others, and it's like you care about others very deeply, and that's also the type of beauty that hypnotizes others, because it's like you give off this physical beauty, but also you have a beautiful heart, and that is very hypnotizing to others, because it's like you have both. You have both the love, but also both. You have the physical beauty, but also the inner beauty, if that makes sense. And that's something I see here. And your energy is super healing, where people just like your vibe. That's something I see as well. So let me pull some more cards, see what else shows up. What about my pile number two's beauty hypnotizes others? What about my pile number two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the spider with creative projects. And we have the dragon with power and strength. At the back of the deck, we have the Earth Fairy with physical health, grounding, and foundations. So some of you could give off this very healthy, radiant vibe, like you look very healthy, you look like you take care of yourself, and that is something that is super hypnotizing about your beauty, because it's like people look at you and they could tell you, you're just glowing, you just look really happy, you look like you're taking care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and that just makes you stand out even more in terms of your aura and your vibe. The spider with the creative projects talks about this creativity. So some of you could be creative, you could make art, you could make music, you could dance, you could do all these things, and people find that hypnotizing when they look at it, because you're really good at what you create. The spider also creates its web, which it lives in. So some of you could have really gorgeous homes, and like people are hypnotized by the way you decorate your home. Whereas I could see this as also with creativity, this type of vibe you give off, where you just stand out, where you create the way you look, if that makes sense. And what I mean by this is, let's say you're really creative with the way you express yourself, with the way you dress, with the way you do your makeup, if you do makeup, or the way you do your hair. You give off the same as pile number one, this very trendsetter vibe, and you have a lot of powerful energy to you where you just stand out. And the dragon breathes fire, and fiery energy to me gives me this energy of creation as well. And the dragon has a lot of power, has a lot of strength, it stands out, it has this huge energy, and I feel like you have that huge energy too. And I don't mean huge physically, I mean huge energy. So I mean this in a way of like when you walk into a room or wherever you go, it's like you really stand out. You really have all eyes on you. And there's something about this energy like fire. If you put on a candle and you're just like kind of hypnotized by the light. I feel like people feel like that with you. Like you just shine like a bright sun, if that makes sense. And I'm seeing a lot of people are very attracted to you physically by your beauty. And it's almost like this vibe of I'm put under this kind of love spell type of energy when I look at you and I'm kind of just falling in love with you. That's the type of vibe I get. I'm looking at this woman's smile here and she's laughing and it looks so gorgeous. So some of you could have very beautiful smiles that just light up the room in a very beautiful way, and that is hypnotizing to others. And your beauty is so hypnotizing that even when you are creative with the way you look, and because you have this kind of sunshine energy that just lights up the room, a smile that lights up the room, you may get some people that are also jealous of you because of that, because of how mesmerizing your beauty is. And it's like you give off this leadership energy where people that are jealous of you want to copy you, but then they also want to be you at the same time. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I am. And you give off this very independent vibe as well that people are really attracted to, not just romantically, like people are just attracted to that vibe you give off. Um, and the spider to me, I don't know why Spirit is showing me Riverdale and what is that lady's name? The one with black hair. I forgot her name, but she always had like a spider type of vibe. In one of the episodes, she had like this Black Widow type of vibe where she was like kissing people and then it would kill them with poison or something like that, and she gave off that spider type of vibe. But if you look at her in the series over time, a lot of people have crushes on her. A lot of people want to be with her. A lot of people just put her on a pedestal, and she has this type of vibe that is like a go-getter type of attitude. When she wants something, she's going to get it. And she also has that type of beauty that just stands out and makes everyone look at her. If I'm not mistaken, she was also one of the popular girls in that movie. I'm not too sure. I can't remember, but I don't know why you give me that type of vibe of her. I'm not saying that your kisses are poisonous, but it's like you give off this spider type of energy where it's like you're the sweetest person, but no one must mess with you with it next to the speak up card. It's like no one must mess with you because you know how Black Widow spider, if I'm not mistaken, they bite off the male's head. It's like metaphorically, you would bite people's heads off if they, were to treat you badly, but you're the sweetest person. So it's just like if people were to mess with you or treat you badly, they'd get that type of vibe. I'm also seeing like that relates to the jealousy, like you're very protected, and I'm hearing that that poisonous energy is like the jealousy. You know what I mean? When people are jealous of you, it's like they are just basically drinking their own poison because they're just making themselves upset, but you're living your life and you're being happy. And that's something I see here. And I think you just look very glowy and radiant and healthy. Like you look like you eat a lot of fruits and take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. That's the feeling I get from you, my pile number twos. I want to pull some tarot cards and see what else shows up for you, but I think you have this very seductive, alluring vibe, and it's like this type of vibe of a lot of beauty, a lot of loving, kind, sweet energies, but also you have the self-worth to you where you're not going to let anyone put you down. You have a lot of power to you that maybe you don't even see yourself. And it's like the way you carry yourself in the world, people see how much you stand out. And that is why people are hypnotized by your beauty, because it's just like all eyes are on you, my pile twos. So what about pile two's beauty is hypnotizing? We have the Knight of Wands. So again, creativity. And the cat here, I was talking about independence. Cats are very independent. They always land on their feet and they have 9 lives. So I feel like you... Oh, we also have the Star card. I feel like you shine so brightly that sometimes people try to dim your light. And it's like this type of vibe of you're always going to land on your feet regardless of what people throw at you, because you give off this type of vibe like Spirit is showing me Puss in Boots, like very cute, very sweet, and it's like when people look at you they're just like aw, and they love to look into your eyes and they find you so cute, but they muzzle mess with you because Puss in Boots is very powerful and strong and will fight, you know what I mean? So I see it as that energy. You're someone that really shines and stands out, and sometimes people see that and then they try to dim your light because of that. But you're not going to allow it to dim your light, because even throughout being in dark moments, you're always going to find that light within yourself, because you are that light, if that makes sense. And that's something I see here. And I think you just have also like this type of beauty that is very sweet, that is very loving. And I think people love that about you. And I'm also seeing, you know, in terms of your creativity, some of you make your own things to wear, as we see someone crocheting here. It's like some of you wear your own clothes, your own designs, and people find that really gorgeous. Or some of you just look like you buy clothes that were made for you. It's like it fits you just perfectly, if that makes sense. And that's something I see here. People also find it really hypnotizing when they look at you and they look at your body as well. And I'm seeing eyes, like some of you have very cute eyes, some of you have doe eyes, some of you have, you know, really beautiful eyes where people just kind of get lost in your eyes. And that's something I see. Or some of you have like siren eyes that are very seductive. I don't know. I don't know what kind of eyes you have, but it's like people love to get lost in your eyes. That's something I see here. So what about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the Six of Cups. I feel like your beauty has always hypnotized others, even in the past, even when you weren't feeling the best about yourself, even when you weren't loving yourself, even when you didn't know your worth, your beauty has always been shining out. You've always been that star, even when you didn't notice it within yourself. And that's something I see here. And it's this type of vibe of ever since you've been working on yourself and working on your mental health and healing emotionally, working on your self-worth and your self-love and everything like that, it's like you shine even brighter. And I'm hearing I'm an Orange Moon by Erica Badu. And she basically talks about how she's this orange moon and she shines so bright, but people sometimes try to project on her and try to make her feel small. And it's like, you've always been that bright person that shines and takes up space. And it's like, even when you didn't notice it within yourself, others noticed it within you countless of times. And even people from your past, I feel like you give off this type of vibe that is like, the one that got away, and it's like they know that they missed the best thing that ever happened to them, because I'm seeing the music video of Best Thing I Never Had by Beyonce, and it's like they know that they missed out on the best thing ever. And even people from your past are still stuck on you. You're still living in their head rent free because of how much you shine. You have this physical beauty, but also this internal beauty. And people from your past have lost out and missed out on the sweetness, this kind of love they could have received from you, but they missed out on it. So that's something I see here. So spirit guides on my pile twos. What about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the King of Swords, and we see a bunch of books here. What was I speaking about you being really smart? Did I say that to you? I think I said that. Like you could just be very smart where people look at you and they find that very, what's the word? Like when people are attracted to someone's mind. I forgot the word for it, but I'm hearing that. That's what people find hypnotizing about your beauty. But also you have this way of like being in the world. Like she's facing the other way. You could try to hide yourself. You could try to wear clothes that even don't make you stand out. You could go to the shops in pajamas and people would still look at you. People would still notice how much you shine, how much you stand out. And that's something I see here. And the owl here represents intuition. So some of you express yourself intuitively and very authentically to you. And it's like people will then try to look at that and like be like, oh, that's so creative that that person wore that and that. I never thought of wearing it that way. And it's like you give all that similar vibe to pile one of that trendsetter vibe, but you're not even trying to set a trend. You're just wearing what you want to wear. Does that make sense? So that's something I see here as well. What about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the 10 of Cups. So you definitely have a lot of people that want to crush on you, that want to be your friend. It's like this type of vibe you give off, that you shine so brightly that it's like sometimes people just want to try and impress you, speak to you in a way that, maybe they see you sound really intelligent, and then it's like I'm seeing someone try to, tell you knowledgeable things that they know to try and get you to like them, or this type of vibe of, maybe you like a certain type of hobby or something, and then they're like, ooh, I like that too. And then they try to tell you about what they know about that to impress you, or this type of vibe where people try to match your energy, not in a manipulative way, not like in a love bombing way, but like try to match your energy to get you interested in them, if that makes sense. Um, like let's say you're like, I like cats, but that person likes dogs more, and then they're like, oh, I like cats too. They're so cute, they're so cuddly, like that type of vibe. Do you get what I mean? That's something I see here. And it's like a lot of people just find your beauty, not just the external beauty so hypnotizing, but the internal beauty so hypnotizing too. Because it's like when you give people love, I just feel like this warm hug over me, like this warmth inside of me. Like I'm just in that moment and I'm just experiencing such beauty with this person, of experiencing this love. Regardless of friendship or romantic, it's like that's what I see here. What about pile two's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the World card. We have an extra card here, the Queen of Cups. So you know how I saw these hands here and they kind of remind me of justice? And then all these hands together, you give me this type of community type of vibe. Like you are going to care for everyone around you. Doesn't matter if you know them or not. And it's like your internal beauty shines out because you're so compassionate, you're so loving. You give off this Queen of Cups energy where you have a heart of gold. You have a heart that shines out and a heart that is really beautiful. And that's the first thing people get hypnotized by, because it's like when they receive love from you, it feels like this warmth inside of them. Even people that you don't know, you care for in a deep way. And you're very kind to everyone you meet, even strangers. I feel like some of you even compliment strangers, and it gives them this warm feeling inside that you don't even know people have. And with the world here, I feel like the whole world just wants to look at you. The whole world would love to be around you. I feel like you'd be that type of person um that would maybe post something on Instagram, like a video of you doing something cute, or maybe doing something creative, or speaking about something on your mind, or like showing your fashion style, or doing something really cute and talking about something you love. And then I feel like people would just, that video would just blow up, or that photo would just blow up, or whatever. And it's like people would just not get enough of you, of your vibe, because it's like you're not only so cute to look at, you're also just so dreamy. I feel some of you have this dreamy, ethereal vibe to you, whereas others of you just stand out, and it's like you're not even trying to stand out, but you just do, if that makes sense. And I feel like you just have this very lovable vibe where people notice that about you. I'm noticing two other, well, other cards want to come out here. We have the Ace of Cups. Anyways, we have the Justice card. I was talking about the Justice card, and we have confirmation here. This Justice card. We have the Four of Pentacles, and then we have the Six of Pentacles. The Empress card wanted to come out. Where is it now? Let me just find it. Okay, there it is. At the back of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. So my pile number twos, I really just feel like you have this type of beauty where it's not just a physical beauty, it's also this internal beauty. And it's like people just can't get enough of you. I feel like you'd be the type of person that would create a whole movement, or create a whole community. Like, let's say if you had to do something artistic and show people something you care about, like a cause you care about, I feel like people would just listen to you. You have that type of hypnotizing beauty where people just want to listen to you, and it's not just physical, it's like that internal beauty you have. And it's like when you speak from a self-confidence, and people want to hear what you have to say. People want to hear your opinions on things. People want to just know things about you, and that's something I see here. And I see that you are someone that can gain a lot of success in your life. We even have dancing here, so some of you are dancers, and some of you are creative, and some of you are just like always achieving things that are important to you, and it makes you shine even more, and that makes people even more hypnotized by your beauty, because it's like I just feel this inspiration coming from people, like, this person did this, and they created this for themselves, and they achieved this for themselves. I want to be like them. Like, I feel like when I spoke about model type of vibe, it's not just the physical type of beauty that makes you like a model type of vibe. When we speak about Miss World, Miss Universe, and like little girls will look up to them, I feel like you're that type of person where little girls or boys will like look up to you and want to be you, and like look at to you as a role model. You're someone that just shines and stands out. And with the Empress card, you also have a lot of physical beauty, the seductive type of vibe, but also this Venusian type of vibe. And I think a lot of people are romantically and physically attracted to you, but like I said, it's not just the physical beauty that makes you stand out, it's also your heart. So I just want to close my eyes and see if anything else shows up for you, and I think that's about it. What about pile two's physical beauty hypnotizes others? I'm seeing eye makeup. Some of you do your makeup in really creative ways, and people just love to look at it. They get hypnotized by it. It's like Spirit is showing me like those magnifying glasses, like people just want to look at you all day. You have a very aesthetically pleasing look that people would just love to stare at you all day and get hypnotized by your beauty and look at everything about you. I don't know if you've ever looked at someone and they're just looking so beautiful and you want to look at every feature and just take it in. That's the type of beauty you have. I'm seeing lingerie, so I guess that seductive type of beauty as well. I'm seeing lips. Some people really get hypnotized by looking at your lips. And I'm seeing champagne. So I feel like you're really fun to be around and people get hypnotized by, having fun with you and celebrating with you and just, being in that moment with you. And I'm seeing a sweet piece of cake. So it's like you're that piece of cake that everyone wants to eat. Not just eat like in a sexual way. I don't mean it like that, but I mean like you're that cake and it's like everyone wants a piece of this cake because you're so, so, so sweet. And you know how cakes can look so gorgeous on the outside, but they can also taste really good. I feel like you have that type of vibe where you look good and aesthetically pleasing on the outside, but on the inside you also are really good and yummy. I guess that makes sense to me, like in a way where on the inside you have a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul. So this is what I see here in your reading, my pile number twos. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pile number threes. If you chose the telepathy card with transmission, perception, and communication and the green aventurine crystal, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what about your beauty hypnotizes others. Please be aware this is a general reading. Only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching, especially when I talk about physical features that I may see. So just take what resonates. In terms of the card you chose, we have a wolf here. So some of you may have been drawn to pile one because it's that similar energy to pile one. Because I said to pile one something about the she-wolf video with Shakira and how gorgeous she looked there, but it was like how she found her own power within her. And it's like, I feel like you have that same power within you too, where you have this type of energy where you've been finding your self-worth, because there's also this gold shimmer around her. You've been finding your self-worth, you've been finding your self-confidence within yourself, you've been finding the gold, the diamonds within your soul, and I feel like you have a heart of gold, my pile number threes, and that just makes your beauty stand out more physically. Like your vibe or aura just stands out before your physical beauty. And I think a lot of people are just attracted to your vibe because you have this rich type of vibe to you that shows up in your physical looks, if that makes sense. And what I mean by rich type of vibe, I feel like you have this heart of gold, this abundance within you, an abundance of love, an abundance of joy, an abundance of everything, beautiful in you. And it's like it shines out in your aura and your vibe, and it makes people even more drawn to you. And it's like this telepathic type of communication you give off where people look at you and they're telepathically drawn to you based off your vibe and your aura that just draws people in. Example I always see with this card is like the Love Witch, when she kind of is sitting there on the bench and she's just drawing this person in by staring at him. She doesn't even have to use any words because he is talking to another woman there in the scene, and he just stops talking to the woman all of a sudden and walks over to the love witch Elaine. And it's like you have that type of presence that just draws people in. It's very magnetic. That's the type of beauty you have. And it transfers over to your physical beauty, where people are often even more attracted to you because of your vibe, but you also have a lot of physical beauty to you where you just stand out, where you just have that energy, like how, the wolf is someone that has this type of hierarchy to it, where um there will be like an alpha wolf and blah 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 blah, but wolves are also really loyal. So it's like you give off this vibe where you just stand out. You're maybe put on a pedestal by others, and it's like you have this powerful type of vibe to you where you just attract and draw people in. You may also give off this very bougie vibe as well, where people often think that you are rich because it's like I said, you have a heart of gold. You have like this shimmery gold vibe around you, and it's like I'm feeling a pain in my solar plexus, and it's like I'll talk about the solar plexus now, but I feel this vibe where like you have this richness in your soul, so that when you wear clothes, it looks expensive on you. When you wear jewelry, it looks expensive on you. And you give off this bougie vibe. Like it's almost like you're a diamond, if that makes sense. And everyone loves to look at this shiny diamond, if that makes sense. And that's something I see. And with the solar plexus pain I was feeling, it's like some things I say you may not see within yourself, because it's like you have this vibe of you that shines so much that sometimes people may try to put you down. People sometimes see your power before you see it yourself, and that's why they try to put you down. Or maybe it's just you not seeing it yourself, but others see it within you, okay? Because the solar plexus is all about self-worth, our belief in self, how we shine out to the world. And I feel like you do. It's just you're starting to see it in yourself recently, and you're starting to heal that within yourself. And that's something I see here. So like I said, you have this very magnetic type of vibe where you just draw people in effortlessly, and that's something I see here. I feel like you don't just draw people in, you draw opportunities in too, and that's something I see here. It's like you could just look at a person and then all of a sudden their attention will be on you and they'll start staring at you. You could think about a person you want an opportunity from and like manifest them. You could be master manifestors, and it's like you just attract it effortlessly, and that's something I see here. So you have this magnetic type of manifestation energy where you create any type of outcome you want. What's about pile three's beauty hypnotizes others? We have harvest. What about pile three's beauty hypnotizes others? We have miracles. When I am looking at your cards, I know this is gonna sound weird, but I almost feel like I am tripping out my pile threes. Like the cards are brighter than they usually are. And I just did pile two's reading, and pile two's cards didn't have this effect to me. It's like your energy is very vivid and bright that even the cards are brighter. I feel like I am tripping out, like I'm on something, but I'm sober, completely sober. But your energy makes me feel like I am in some other world where the colors are more colorful, where everything is more vibrant, where everything is more happier. This may be my magical pile. So you give off this type of vibe where you almost take people to a magical world like Alice in Wonderland. And now everything is more colorful, everything is more vivid, everything is more bright. You know what I mean? And that's something I see here. Like with the Alice in Wonderland energy, I just feel this type of vibe where it's like people want to be a part of your world and they kind of get hypnotized in by your vibe. And then when they meet you or they start talking to you, it's kind of like you're taking them to this other magical world. And then they go home and they just realize what happened, and it's like it's hard to explain with words, but it's almost like they were in an Alice in Wonderland day with you, and then they get back home to their human world, and then they're just trying to process it, and it's like you bring in so much vivid colors into people's lives, and that's something I see here. And that is hypnotizing to people because it makes them feel like they are almost like tripping out, like they're in a cartoon world, if that makes sense, where everything is different and more magical, more colorful, where music is nicer, where food tastes better, and it's like you have this very high vibrational energy that people feel from you but can't physically describe, and that is hypnotizing. It's your inner beauty that I'm feeling here. But this flower here is really sticking out to me. And what I know about this flower here, I forgot what it's called, but it's like it represents this type of sensuality, this type of beauty, and it's like this fertility kind of energy. And now that I'm talking about the flower, I feel like sneezing. So there's something about you that is so sweet. You know, when you smell a flower that it's so sweet, then you start sneezing. So maybe you have a really sweet type of vibe to you that people just really love. And it doesn't mean it's too much when I say sneezing. It just means it's very powerful and potent, okay? And I feel like you have this flowery type of vibe, if that makes sense, where you just are like a beautiful flower and everyone wants to pick this beautiful flower and keep it to themselves. That's the feeling I get from you, and that's how your beauty hypnotizes others, because I don't know if you've ever been at a place where there's so many beautiful flowers and you just want to stare at it all day. You want to take pictures of the view. Like, that's how I feel your beauty is. And I think you give off this very sensual type of vibe, this very sensual, magnetic, seductive type of energy, but at the same time, very romantic type of essence you give off, where people are just very attracted to you. Okay? And I'm feeling like I'm hearing this for some of you. I'm hearing for some of you, it's like people think that you have this exotic type of look to you. And it's like this type of feeling where they think you're from another country. I don't know. Some of you are from other countries, and it's like that's what people think. That's just what I'm hearing. So, like, I'm feeling the type of vibe where people want to know where you're from. And like they think you're from somewhere else, if that makes sense. Somewhere else in the world. Like some of you have gorgeous accents, and it's like that just really hypnotizes others because it's not what they're used to as well. And it's like they kind of want to know where you're from. That's something I'm hearing from spirit. And it kind of just feels like when people are let into your world, it feels like a miracle has just happened into their life because you bring so much color and so much vivid brightness into people's lives. You know what I mean? And that's something I see. You're seen as a blessing to others. But also with the harvest card, it talks about, when we put in hard work towards what we want and we get that harvest, it's like this celebratory energy. So I feel this type of vibe from you where it's like maybe people want a person like you in their life. And when they get a person like you in their life, it feels like a miracle has just happened in their life. And you could be someone that has really worked hard in your career, and it's like people see that harvest on you. Like, let's say, you worked really hard and now you get to buy this really gorgeous dress that you've always wanted, or now you get to buy this outfit you've always wanted, or do your hair the way you've wanted. I feel like some of you give off this bougie vibe where it's like, you've worked hard for the things you own, and some of you buy really good quality things that last for a very long time, and people notice that about you. Okay. And I'm feeling like people want to look inside your home because you have this bougie vibe. It's like people want to look inside your home, see what your home looks like. Even if you don't see yourself this way, you could just make clothes look expensive. And that's something I see here. And that's hypnotizing to others. And I feel like you just give off this vibe of self-love. And I'm seeing this type of vibe where you almost like put people under a love spell. With how hypnotizing your beauty is, it's like they fall hard and fast for you, and it's like this type of vibe of them being under your love spell and desiring you, but you're not even trying to do anything to them. That's something I see here. I also feel like some of you have really gorgeous skin, like your skin is just very glowy and radiant, and it's like people love to look at that. It's like they want to run their hands against your skin. Maybe your skin looks really soft. That's something I see here as well. And like if you wear makeup, people really like the way you do your makeup or the way you do your hair. That's something I see as well. Some of you wear earrings or jewelry and people really are hypnotized in by that. And I'm seeing like toenails, like some of you do pedicures and manicures, and it's like people really love to look at that. And like your eye makeup, if you wear eye makeup or lipstick, things like that. So before we continue with your reading, my pile number threes, I do have a small favor to ask from you. The last 3 months, 75% of people who watch my channel didn't subscribe. So if you've ever liked any of the videos I've posted and you like this channel and if you've forgotten to subscribe, can you please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, because it helps my channel more than you know. And the bigger the channel gets, the more content I can put out and create for you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love, all your support, and I'm sending you so much love and gratitude from my heart. And I feel like with all this greenery here, there's this type of vibe like your beauty is always ever growing like a flower. You're always blooming into the best version of yourself, and you're finding your self-worth, and that is making your beauty even more hypnotizing right now at the moment. And like this beautiful sunset, when you look at a sunset, it isn't around for long. We're looking at the sunset, we're really taking it in, appreciating it, being so mesmerized by its magical beauty, because the sunset can be very magical. It can be one of the most magical things on earth. And it's like we just want to take it in, we want to take pictures of it, we want to look at it and keep it in our minds forever of how that sunset looked so beautiful and gorgeous. And I feel like you give off that type of beauty that is hypnotizing, where people just want to stare at you, where people, want to have photos of you. I feel like some of you could be having like this model type of beauty or this very photogenic type of beauty as well. That's something I see here that hypnotizes others. What about pile three's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the Wind Fairy with thoughts, words, and intellectual analysis. We have the Bard with music, poetry, myth, history, and the enchantment of storytelling. So I don't know if you've ever seen on TV when someone walks in and then they're like so gorgeous that it's like music starts playing in the background, or they're so handsome and music starts playing in the background and time just kind of slows down. I feel like you have that type of vibe to you, but you also have this really joyful vibe. It's like when you walk into the room or wherever you go, it's like music is playing. It's like everyone is joyful at the sight of you because you just have this type of energy that is so bright that makes people want to look at you just like a sunset. And that's something I see. People find a lot of joy out of just being around your presence. Your presence is very fun to be around, but you're also really, really smart. And it's like the words you use are really beautiful and hypnotizing to others. You know, I feel like you could be really sweet, and the words you say to people just leave an imprint in their mind. Or some of you are really smart and people are really attracted to your mind. And that's something I see here. But I also feel like you have this seductive, alluring type of vibe to you, where it's like you almost put people under this love spell when they look at you. They can't think. That's something I see here. And you have this very graceful energy where whatever you do, it looks beautiful. You know, you could be running on the treadmill and people could just look at you and find you so beautiful. And you think you're sweating over there, but they're just looking at you and finding everything you do so beautiful. Do you get what I mean? That's the type of vibe I feel. I feel this is my pile of beautiful butterflies that everyone wants to catch. Um, Beautiful, colorful butterflies, you know, they want to catch you and keep you forever. But you also have this very gentle type of loving vibe to you, this pure soul type of vibe to you. And that's something I see here that is very hypnotizing because your beauty is just, it's on a soul level, but also a physical level, if that makes sense. And at the back of the deck, we have anger, jealousy, anger, retaliation, and jealousy. So you have so much beauty internally and externally that it may make others jealous because others see how magnetic you are. Others see how other people stare at you. You may not see that yourself. And I'm feeling a pain in my ribs. So I feel like some of you have family members that are jealous of you because it's like you have this type of vibe that just gets people's attention, and it's really sad to see that, but that's something I see. And you may be like, pain in ribs, what how do you get that? Because it's like spirit and me have a very unique language. We speak together, and it's almost like, you know how you have an inside joke with your friend. I have the same type of vibe with spirit, where I have unique messages that come through feelings as well in my body. And certain type of body areas show up as different things. So I feel that very strongly. You just stand out in a very beautiful way. And it's like you don't see how others love to stare at you. You don't see how magnetic you are. You know, maybe you do see it, but you don't see it to the extent others do. And I feel like sometimes your beauty is so hypnotizing that it makes others heartbroken and jealous because they want attention, and I guess you're getting the attention. So I don't know why I'm seeing that, but I'm seeing that. Spirit guides of pile threes. What about their beauty is hypnotizing? We have the Ten of Pentacles. And I feel like you don't deserve that jealousy because it's not like you're trying to get everyone's attention. You just have a beautiful soul, a beautiful aura. You know what I mean? We have the Emperor. We have the Five of Wands. Yeah, competition energy. It's like I see you over there with your sunflowers, making your garden really beautiful. Your garden of self-love really beautiful. And now I want to make my garden like yours because yours gets so much attention. Whereas, you know, those sunflowers over there in my garden are really beautiful, but you can have roses in your garden. They're also really beautiful, and people will love to stare at that too. You know what I mean? And I feel like you sometimes have people in competition with you because of this. You know what I mean? Because your garden stands out so much. It's like they want to copy or mimic yours to get the same eyes on theirs, if that makes sense. We have the Moon card. And yeah, it's like this telepathic type of vibe you bring in where you draw people in magnetically. And even look at this dog looking at the moon here. It looks like it wants to eat the moon, like it's so delicious. I feel like you have that energy of like, I can't remember which pile I said this to, but I said like they're a delicious cake and everyone wants a piece of this cake. I feel like you have that energy too. We have the Six of Cups, so even in the past when you didn't see this yourself, even in the past when you didn't see your own light, other people saw this within you. Even in the past, before you heard this reading and before you knew about this, it's like you didn't see it before in the past, how magnetic you are and how you've always been this magnetic person that draws people in. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think now you're starting to see it. Now you're starting to see how much you shine. And I feel like you also have really beautiful smiles as well. That's something I see. But I'm feeling like this energy of even in the past, people could see it in you, but maybe no one would tell you because it's like this type of vibe where you have so much beauty that maybe people wouldn't even tell you because they didn't want your head to get too big, or they didn't want you to know it yourself because maybe you'd be confident in yourself, or it's like you were always a star, but people told you you weren't a star and like made you think you weren't a star, and then now you're starting to see that you've always been a star. Does that make sense? Or like you've always been a bright moon, but maybe people told you, no, you're not a moon. Like, I don't know, that type of vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that's the type of vibe I'm seeing. But also, I feel like people from your past, certain choices they made that caused them to not be in your life anymore. It's like you are living in their subconscious mind still to this day because they know that they've let go of the most beautiful thing ever and they can't get it back. And that's something I see here. And I feel like your beauty is just, it's not just physical, it's also an internal beauty. But it's like both, and both make you shine. And like I said, you're like flowers, and everyone wants to look at these beautiful flowers. You know what I mean? And pick these beautiful flowers. That's what I feel here from your beauty. The Emperor card is here, which is Aries energy. I feel like some of you also have this leadership type of vibe, trendsetter type of vibe, like you do certain things and people want to copy or mimic you because they see it looks good on you, if that makes sense. And that's something I see here as well. And it's like you treat people with loyalty, you treat people with such kindness, such sweetness, you have a heart of gold. And that just makes your beauty shine out even more. That's something I see here. So, Spirit guides of pile 3. What about pile 3's beauty hypnotizes others? We have the Empress. So you also have this seductive type of Venusian type of beauty to you where it's like this magnetic type of feeling where people are so physically attracted to you. Okay? Some of you could have very alluring energy where it's like people, their mouth waters for you, I'm hearing. And a lot of people are attracted to you physically or think you have a very seductive type of vibe, a very Venusian type of vibe. Some of you could have Libra or Taurus placements, or you just have that Venusian type of beauty, like, how Aphrodite has that Venusian type of beauty where she is the most beautiful goddess of them all. I feel like you have this beauty that it's almost like you've been blessed by Venus, by Aphrodite, with a lot of beauty that stands out. And that's something I see here. I kind of want to get any more information, just a few more cards, and I'm going to close my eyes to see if I see anything else. What about pile three's beauty? The star card. And the world card. What about pile three's beauty? Hypnotizes people. The chariot. We have other cards here that want to come out. The Three of Cups. We have the Justice card. And we have the Two of Wands. So you have this type of beauty that is like really standing out with the star card. You shine in your own beautiful way. Like I said before, some of you have really beautiful, gorgeous smiles. And you have this type of energy that is very much like Queen of Cups vibes. I know I'm not seeing the Queen of Cups here, but it's like you have this really loving, compassionate energy. You treat others with care and love, even strangers, and you have this type of community energy where, you know, even people that don't know you will celebrate your wins, because it's like, I think some of you have this very charming energy with your vibe and aura that just makes people like you. You're very likable, and that's something I see here. And it's like, because you stand up for those that you don't even know, you have that type of energy where you would sit next to someone if they didn't have friends in school, like that type of vibe. And it's like, because you have that type of community vibe, you know, you may be people that smile at strangers, or people that just have that loving type of aura vibe, and it's like people just really like you. You're very lovable, not just romantically, but lovable in general. And that's something I see here. And it's like people would even celebrate you even if they didn't know you. Because it's like you have this type of beauty that is internal but also external. And it makes people want the best for you, and makes people want you to move forward in life and, you know, reach your goals, and kind of like that type of energy. So this is what I see here. I just want to close my eyes and see if anything else comes through for you, pile threes. I'm seeing like a beautiful cup with like flowers decorated in it. I feel like you have the type of beauty that is almost like art that people just love to look at, and that's hypnotizing. Spirit is showing me a Barbie house. I take that as, you know, you may be like Barbie, where everyone has an intrigue towards you and wants to be like you. Even if you don't look like Barbie, you have that type of vibe. Like, oh, I want to go to Barbie's house. I want to go swim in her pool. Like, I want to be around Barbie, like that type of vibe. And Spirit is showing me a cup of coffee. So you could have this type of energy that is energizing to others, and it just makes others feel energized and like ready to go, and that's something I see. And Spirit is showing me an acorn, and I'm taking it as like Ice Age, you know, in Ice Age when that little squirrel tries to chase the acorn and it always chases the acorn. You know, you may have people want to chase after you because your beauty is so hypnotizing. And I'm also seeing a stand of cake. How I said earlier, you're like a piece of cake everyone wants. And I'm seeing a ring box. So it's like you have the type of beauty where people just fall in love with you and they want to propose to you. What about pile three? Physical beauty hypnotizes others. Can you show me some physical features, Spirit, please? Spirit is showing me glasses. Some of you wear glasses and people really like that. Or sunglasses. And the butterfly, Spirit is showing you the butterfly and a Cupid's arrow. So like people just fall in love with your beauty. Spirit is showing me a dolphin being playful. So Spirit is showing me like, you know, people love your playful vibe and fall in love with your happy vibe. Physical features, please, Spirit Guides, of pile 3. And Spirit is showing me a harp, so your beauty is very melodical, like it sounds like a melody. And Spirit is also showing me pizza, like a delicious type of beauty. I guess Spirit is not showing me physical features, but just like the effect um you give people. I don't know why Spirit is not showing me physical features today for you, many physical features, but I guess this is what I have for you, my pile number 3s. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!